High Priestess. It's one of those mornings. I don't have a specific subject, but I did finish my PaPaLeGbA ritual. You know, just to show y'all. It's got some fresh stuff going there. Sprayed him with his cologne, and I've got a candle in the making, but can't really see too much. But he is here. Peace, Aaron. How's it going? So I was told to go live. I do have all my mermaids out. These are my my Elekis for sale, and I think my mermaids and the sirens will be they'll be around 177 or to in the 400s depending on which one. But I have all of them out. 3 of them are mermaids, 3 of them are sirens. So it is that Monday moon watery type of energy. As you see, I got the blue energy going on too. So and it did snow. It was snowing. I'll show y'all the outside if you can. Still got Krampus there, but it kind of stopped a little bit. So it is a beautiful morning. How's everyone doing? So I'm just gonna kind of talk about any messages that PaPaLeGbA has. Like I said, I don't have a specific subject, but I was in meditation, and I was just kind of sitting here, you know, just meditating on things, and I do not really feel the energy of this triple moon event. I'm not really feeling the lunar eclipse, blood moon, blue moon. Well, I do got the blue one though. So maybe I am, if anything, feeling that part of it, but I didn't really see the moon yesterday. But on my way home from meeting up with my mother, I was able to look at the sun, and it looked as if it was an eclipse going on, but it really was just cloudy. Could have been chemtrails. It was like a smoky, almost a foggy, cloudy. And when the clouds passed, I was able to look directly at the sun, and it reminded me of what the solar eclipse in the summer, at the end of the summer, looked like. But it was just really bright. And, you know, again, it kind of made me feel like the sun and the moon are the same at this point, meaning it's fake and they are hiding the construction that they're doing on the firmament dome, or they're hiding the holographic universe that, you know, is being constructed, and the same light beam and light source, the same ultraviolet light rays or high blue beam lights that they're using to simulate the sun and the moon now, you know, are coming from the same light bulb. So, you know, take that how you may. That, I guess, you know, that just kind of came out. But I'm not really feeling the triple moon energy. I am feeling a energy. I feel a little relieved. I've been doing some personal cleansing and healing. I think I just barely made the ritual before, you know, I started bleeding. So again, ladies, do not offer to male Orisha, least of all PaPaLeGbA, while you are with blood. The only one who would be an exception would be Ogun. Ogun does take menstrual blood, urine, semen, bodily fluids as offerings. Ogun will accept those offerings. So if you have a certain relationship with Ogun, especially if you have a Danto. Oya, if you know her patakis with the blood and everything, Ogun took her blood from her at one point. So I would more so say with Danto. Guess there's some construction going on. Oh yeah. They're fixing a pole down there, a few weeks ago, a car ran right into the corner and dented the pole. So I guess they're fixing it, which is interesting, dealing with PaPaLeGbA and the crossroads. So, you know, hopefully some people will be getting some direction. Again, those of you who have been lost, especially lost at sea, because I am in it's mermaid, but it's also kind of a regal Yemaya energy as well. So, those of you who may have been lost at sea, who may have been lost as to which direction to take for the past 3 weeks and may have felt very stagnant, it looks like PaPaLeGbA is going to set some things forward for voodooists and the chosen ones and the initiates. There was some time of contemplation and also a time to make sure that you're ready to move forward in your wisdom, meaning know who your true friends are, know who to invest in. And if you don't have anyone to invest in, you put that energy into yourself and into your ancestors before you invest it in a person who is not worthy of what you have to offer. So you know, I'm going to give some examples of why it's important for people to operate and maneuver with true friends from here on out, because, you know, the way the world is going, you need to rely on people more than ever. And most people around you are snakes. So, for example, black women. Why am I talking to black women? Because we have a epidemic in the segregated city where I'm from. There's an epidemic of black women being marginalized to single motherhood, and it's not that there's not educated black women, but even still, with the education, black women still marginalize themselves because of oppression and propaganda. And black women are in severe competition with each other more often than not because of lack of resources for black women, because of the stigmas and propaganda and stereotypes against the black woman in America. So black women especially, if you have women around you that are not guiding you to things in your best interest, that are convincing you and persuading you that becoming a single mother is better than staying single and not having a baby until marriage, please be careful. Because what I have noticed is that that epidemic in our community comes from the fact that other black women do not step in and talk to younger girls in their best interest. And that's starting with the mothers and the aunts in the home, but also other community members. And you don't have to be older, again, because a lot of black women are older and are not wise. They have been marginalized and they have made the same mistakes, and that's why generation after generation stays in a perpetual girlish femininity, because you became a mother before you became a woman. And I'm speaking to who it applies to. So women, if you know, ladies, if you don't have women around you honestly guiding you and telling you, hey, you know what, I don't think your boyfriend treats you right, I think you can do better. If you don't have women saying, you know what, I don't think you should become a mother just because all of your other girlfriends are and you'll fit in with them better, and you don't want to lose your friends, I think you should pursue your career. I think you should pursue your dream. You know what I'm saying? What's your, you know what I'm saying? There's too many black women, and here's the number one thing. Be careful of black women who are leading you into polygamy. That's an insult. The fact that so many black women are talking about polygamy shows how desperate the black woman is, and she will do anything just to have a black masculine man. Because polygamy is a result of black masculine men seeing that they're rare, and the ones who are not dead, locked up, or homosexual have said, hey, I can have whatever I want, because all of these black women want black men, and so does every other woman in the world. So you know what? I don't have to be a man. I got all these women who will do anything to have me. And that's what the dark-skinned black masculine man is right now. He's a player, because most of them know if they are attractive and masculine, they know that they have their pick of women, especially black women who are not being chosen by dark-skinned black men in America. So this is related to mass media propaganda. It may not be in places where people have more education, or places where people, more education meaning they are elite beyond consuming mass media, or places where people are impoverished and still only have other darker skinned people to choose from. Because there is still a color caste system in America, meaning that the darker you are, the more likely you come from poverty or from a particular place in Africa, because of the actual mixing and whitewashing and murder of blacks. So again, sisters, be careful of what other black women are convincing you to do in terms of your romantic prosperity and your relationships with black men, because there is a strong crab in the bucket syndrome, and we don't like to see each other succeed. So it's even in the Bible, it says that in the last days, woe is the woman suckling a baby. And it's clear that if anyone believes in the prophecies of the Bible, or of, some other prophets, like Mother Shipton is one, for example. If anyone believes in those things, it's clear that we're in the last days. And I'm not saying like things are going to happen and necessarily change, but I do believe that they will in this generation, just because of how I feel. I believe we'll see some biblical things, because we already have. But it's not wise, black woman, to just be a mother right now. If you're young and you can achieve other things, it's really not wise. Black men are really under a severe program in America. They cannot be trusted. And black men, if that doesn't apply to you, let it go. If you're any type of man, you have seen what I'm saying. And instead of jumping on the bandwagon of bashing black women who are speaking out, just be quiet or say, yeah, you know what, you're right. Because I grew up seeing all of these black men disrespect and play black women who were being real with them. And you can stop trying to have the upper hand, and you can speak up for what the black woman experience is like a man does. Because that's one of the definitions of a man. A man was designed to protect and provide for the woman. The woman was designed to nurture. On that note, I did make a post, and I think it was like from the 40s or 50s, but it talked about some things that men appreciated in a wife, like, putting the kids to bed when he gets home, creating a quiet, serene environment, just things like that. And yeah, a lot of women have lost their femininity. I don't blame all of that on women, but women do have choices. And I see a lot of women were not raised by ladies. and a lot of women did not have ladies around them to show them that. Some women were raised by men. Some women maybe have had a single father or had a bunch of brothers, things like that. But from a drop dead gorgeous and sexy and ideal feminine, by American high fashion standards, everything except for my African features, which, to be honest, I don't really want to say that. I want to say what I first said. Coming from a drop dead gorgeous woman with an ideal figure, maybe not for some of you, but I can tell you men will let you know what they feel is ideal, especially if they want kids. They don't want a big woman. Some do, some like that. Plenty of them like it. But a lot of men say they like whatever they need to say they like so they can test it out. They'll tell you they like big women so they can try it out and see if they like it. They'll tell you they like dark skin so they can try it out and see if they like it, because a lot of you women have no idea how much men objectify women because you're not beautiful. And they don't see you as an object because you're not feminine enough to be objectified by them. And what I'm saying in that sense is men are really superficial, especially at a young age, especially if they're American. They look at women as flavors, and no matter how much substance you have underneath, they're gonna sexualize you, especially if you're sexy. If you're sexy, it's very hard for a man to acknowledge your intelligence because he's objectifying you. And the more gorgeous you are, the more attention is drawn to your sexiness. And it is harder for a man who sees that and is easily aroused or is manipulated to objectify women. It's hard for him to honor your intelligence. So that's why media promotes women who are intelligent in a certain way. And that's why beautiful women get treated like we're dumb. Because media is male dominated. And in the male dominated mind, women are in categories. You can be sexy. I need you to be sexy. I need you to be smart. But if you're being smart, you can't be sexy, because I'm a male. I'm a dumb man. And I can't think, in two directions at once. That's why they say a lot of men can't have a conversation and park the car at the same time. I've seen that. Just like I've seen men have a conversation and park the car. But maybe only one. Anyway, like, to be honest, a lot of you women don't really know how men think because you haven't lived the life of being an ideal, being a model. I'm not saying that you have to be the ideal standard to be a model. What I'm saying is the definition of a model is ideal, the ideal. And if you're talking about humans, if you're talking about attractiveness, you're talking about the ideal femininity or the ideal masculinity, the ideal man or the ideal woman. That is what a model represents. So, again, a lot of black women, you should be listening to what other women tell you about how to deal with men. Stop always listening to what men say and men's advice, because men should be telling you to listen to women too. They should be telling you to seek out wisdom from women who have dealt with men and overcome things and have found success in a relationship with a man, especially in this day and age. Because a lot of things that are women in another generation went through with men, they don't apply because we have a completely different breed of black men. They were still dealing with masculine men, and even if those masculine men were extremely chauvinist, they still had husbands that were black, and a lot of them were taking care of the home. That is not something that I see black women having from here on out in America. I really don't. And to say that mass media hasn't actually affected the statistics of how black women are treated by her own race, it's bullshit. I'm 33. I will be in April, and I can tell you in 33 years that I as an 80s baby growing up until now, I can tell you media has programmed black people not only to hate dark-skinned black women. I mean, and if you can't see things like shows, if you can't see like in Martin or, you know, these cartoons, what's that cartoon with the fat black dark-skinned chick and then she be having blonde hair? What, one of them cartoons that y'all see? I didn't grow up having cable, so I would have to watch it like at my cousin's house or other, you know. But just if you know, if you are in denial about it, you're part of the problem. If you're in denial about it, you're probably benefiting from black women's silence about our experiences in America. So again, you know, make sure you do have true friends. Make sure you have people who are convincing you to eat. You know, if you're in a good relationship, stay in a good relationship. Don't let somebody come in between a good relationship that you have. But also don't, you know, if you've gotten out of a bad relationship, meaning a romantic relationship, a divorce, or you left a job or got fired, or some type of contract you were in, or you had a business relationship that didn't work out. I've seen plenty of black men try to get together, but you had no respect or regard for the role and the feminine principles, and the ones who did were not respected, and things fall apart because everyone's looking to the black man to lead, and he is not always the best leader. He's not always the best. I mean, you can't just say because you're a man that you're fit to lead. And that's what the black community has done. The black community are people who have just learned how to read and pump reading books and read books and read books, because a lot of black people didn't grow up reading. They just learned how to read. They're just now taking pride in being educated, when the rest of the world is way past that. Black people literally, I would say, black people are just now with the Obama era taking pride in being educated and not and having another standard, while the rest of the world has moved on and already deprogrammed the black race. The black race is null and void in America. And from what I hear about things in Africa, you might as just well say globally. There's no point in continuing to make an exception, because Africa would have shown more to the world if it did have more to offer. I'm not saying that the hidden gems of spirituality that need to stay hidden in Africa need to be exposed. I'm saying politically, Africa is going to be raped because Africa's rapeable. The black man does not protect the black woman. So of course she's going to continue to get raped. And what foreign conquering man is going to respect another man who constantly allows his women to get raped? Who constantly allows his resources to get raped? Who constantly allows his self to get raped? A man of fire, a man of conquering, the Roman Caesars, they are not going to respect the black man. They bought him out. They know he's not going to do anything. They said, okay, well, you can come fight for us because we know you'll fight for us before you'll defend your woman. You're not going to fight against us, so fight for us. See, the black woman is under attack because she's the only one who's still really fighting. And if you don't believe me, if you don't have Facebook, or I don't have Instagram and Twitter and all of these things, but just check your social media. See how many black men are standing up for black women, standing up for Monique. And again, remember, social media is still have algorithms that are also designed to make black women look bad. So, in the grand scheme of things, you know, if we want to be logical, you know, as a race, let's be logical and start accepting our inferiority. We don't support each other. Look at how many black people speak against Monique and say that she's not funny. The whole world is looking at how black people hate each other in America. So when I say that the black man is inferior on Facebook, as I have a lot, and I will be speaking a lot to that more, I would urge people to prove me wrong. Don't just say that I'm bashing black men. Prove me wrong, because I'm making an observation. I don't bash black men. I get bashed by black men for speaking about a truth. The truth is, most black women are not being raped and murdered by white men. Most black women are not being abused and molested by white men. Most black women are not being impregnated and left for dead, because that's what happens. Your feminine soul gets murdered when you have to bear the burden of a man basically shitting on you, saying, here, take my shit and you flush it, or turn it into something while I go continue to do whatever I want to do. And that's the reality. And men were designed by God to be able to do that to women. Men were designed to be able to treat women any type of way, and women were designed to have to bear the burden. That was God's design. That's what witches are for. To give women mysteries of how to enjoy being a woman, when God designed you to be a slave to a man. PaPaLeGbA escorted witches to earth. Witches were not wanted here. Lilith was not wanted. God made Eve to spite Lilith. So Lilith was the snake in the garden that taught Eve the mysteries of the female orgasm. So God gave woman birth pains and made her designed to be a slave to a man. And a lot of men will deprive women of the orgasm, or will you know, treat women like objects. Because women have a mystery that a lot of men cannot access, especially the multiple orgasm. And if a woman is not in her ability to have multiple orgasm, men are not really enjoying the sexuality to its full extent. A woman has to be fully aroused for a man to really enjoy her the way sex is designed. And that is sacred femininity. Preserving your sexuality for the divine most high, or practicing the original form of sexuality, which was the kundalini of the serpents, the kundalini of the original creators. So when I say God made Eve, I'm talking about the architect, not the creators. Right? Dambala and Aida Wado, our creators. The Kundalini snakes, our creators. The dragons, black people. So the architect of the Matrix, again, wanted to spite the woman and created Eve to spite Lilith, and Lilith bestowed mysteries upon Eve. But to this day, you still have the rivalry, which can translate into dark skin, light skin, but it's more so translating into the weak woman being chosen by men. The mass media programming men to want weakness in a woman instead of true strength, because true beauty requires true strength. And strength is not being masculine. Strength is being brave, being graceful, being confident, being faithful, regardless of what storm you have going inside, still being divine. There's a lot of misconceptions about strength. And because a lot of black women are not, in fact, strong. It takes strength to go against mass media and say, I'm going to have my natural hair, even though I'm going to be considered ugly. It takes strength to wear short hair and wear short kinky hair. Most black women believe they're gonna look ugly. And yeah, a lot of black men are not gonna go after you. But you know who will? The real men. The real men who don't see beauty as a hairstyle, but as a lifestyle. And when you go natural as a black woman, you are creating that lifestyle where your vibration changes. Most black women are not strong enough to wear their natural hair in a society that tells them if you don't look like a white girl in some way, that's not strength. That's weakness. And a lot of black women don't have the faith in a divinity to say, I will get what I need, regardless of the reality of racism and sexism. I'm going to stay true to myself and have faith in that genuine spirit within me, that a door will open to what I need. So let's understand the difference between strength and weakness. Let's understand the difference between bravery and conformity. Most black people are not revolutionaries. They're just angry that they don't have what white people have. And to white people listening, I will be speaking more to you directly. I will be speaking more to black men directly, and I will be speaking more to certain demographics directly, just based on messages that I get or messages that I have. And again, based on what I just said, white people, like I said, most black people are not revolutionaries, but this is no secret. This is not something you all don't already know. The reality of it is you all are not afraid of black people. There are more white people, I don't want to say that, but white people are not afraid of black people. White people, a white person may be afraid of a black person in a circumstance, but white America is not afraid of black America. So again, white people, knowing and understanding the conditions that white supremacist oppression has put black people in, to be honest, to be frank, those of you who are true warriors, and I'm speaking to the mages, I'm speaking to the pagans, I'm speaking really to the warlocks, I'm speaking to the occultists, I'm speaking to those of you who are in the occult and who have power and who have been practicing power, but who understand that a false entity has taken over not just America but the globe, and understand that although the human race was divided, especially since the Tower of Babel fell, that your underlying fear or subconscious hatred or inferiority complex toward us original blacks, Nagas, you have privileges. But those of you who are in your divinity and in your occult mysteries and are Masons who have built through alchemy and occult science a divine self within you, we need your help. And I'm talking about black witches and warlocks. Our people are part of the problem. They are a huge part of the problem. And if you all can help, we need to unite, because we cannot rely on the black race. Us as black people who have been trying to fight, we cannot rely on our race. But I believe that black mages, witches, warlocks, wizards, sorceresses, women of power, and I'm not talking about African spirituality. Most of those people have no power. I'm talking about people of African descent who are part of the collective. We need to have a round table with other races who are part of the chosen few, because the black race is not a good investment. In fact, it is a terrible investment. I want to invest in the mages. And I know you all are unite in secret, but you know what? As Black High Priestess, I've been given the rights to come out in public. But I am calling to you all because I can't keep doing this alone by myself. And I cannot trust my race. I can trust the round table of the chosen few. And I need you all to help me. Thank you. Peace and love.